I never thought I'd hear the words, "Don't get close, I want space," from the woman I built a life around. Not in the middle of our shared kitchen, with our morning coffee growing cold between us. But there she was, Sarah, arms folded, eyes on the floor like she was already halfway gone. It started small, like most endings do. Missed texts, late replies, a subtle distance in her laughter. The kind of silence that doesn't fill the air, it hollows it out. We used to talk about everything, from random memes at midnight to what color to paint the living room. Now even small talk felt forced, like every word needed permission. She blamed work stress, her need for personal time, and I tried to understand. I really did. I started giving her that space she asked for, hoping she'd come back willingly. But instead the gap just grew. She stopped reaching for my hand when we crossed the street, stopped waiting up when I worked late. She became polite. Too polite, the way you treat a guest you secretly hope will leave soon. One night I asked her gently, "Are we okay?" She sighed like the question exhausted her. "Ethan, not everything has to be about us," she said, but it was. It always was. When you love someone, everything becomes about them. How they talk, how they move, how they slowly stop looking at you the same way. The following week, she spent most nights out, with friends. No calls. No updates. Just a text, "Don't wait up." I waited anyway. It's strange how someone can live in your house but already be gone. Her perfume still lingered on the couch cushions, but her presence didn't. I'd find her phone face down, always on silent. Her laughter, when I overheard it, sounded brighter when it wasn't with me. I told myself not to assume the worst. Maybe she just needed air. Maybe love just needed a breather. But one evening I came home early and found her on the porch scrolling through her phone. When she saw me, she didn't smile. She just said quietly, "You're home early." That was the moment I knew I was intruding in my own life. Dinner that night was quiet. The clinking of forks against plates was the only conversation we had. Halfway through, she pushed her plate aside and said, "Ethan, I think I need some space." I froze. "Space from what?" "From everything," she said. "From us. I just feel suffocated sometimes." There it was, the sentence that pulled the floor out from under me. I looked at her, searching for the woman who used to fall asleep in my arms, whispering plans for the future. But all I saw was a stranger asking for a life without me in it. "Okay," I said slowly. "You want space? Then what does that mean for me?" She shrugged, looking away. "Just don't get close for a while. I'll figure things out." That night I didn't sleep. I sat in the living room, staring at the empty spot where she used to curl up beside me. Every sound in the house felt louder. The ticking clock, the hum of the fridge, the echo of her words replaying in my head. The next morning, I made her coffee like always. She walked past it. Didn't even glance. That was when something inside me clicked. Not anger, not even sadness, just clarity. If she needed space, I could give it. But I wasn't going to orbit around her absence anymore. I stopped texting first. I stopped asking when she'd be home. I cooked for one. I folded my own laundry. I handled my life like she'd already left it. A week passed. Then two, she noticed the shift. The little things. How I stopped waiting by the door when she came in. How I started humming while making breakfast again. One night she asked, "Are you okay?" "You've been different," I smiled lightly. "Just giving you what you asked for." Her eyes flickered like she didn't expect me to actually do it. She said softly, "Don't be cold, Ethan." I looked at her. "I'm not being cold, Sarah. I'm just handling things on my own now." The silence after that was heavier than before. She blinked as if realizing space doesn't always mean safety. It can mean distance that never closes again. And maybe that's what she really wanted, even if she didn't say it out loud. Over the next few weeks, I learned what silence really sounds like. It's not peaceful. It's sharp. It cuts through everything you try to do to forget. Every quiet dinner, every unspoken word, every good night that never came back. It all starts to echo after a while. I stopped checking her social media, stopped wondering who she was laughing with when her phone lit up. Instead, I started focusing on things that used to make me me before I became us. I ran again in the mornings, fixed up my old bike, cooked my own dinners, played old records, read before bed. The house didn't feel less lonely, but it felt more honest. Then one Friday night she came home early. I was sitting on the couch with my laptop when she walked in. holding a takeout bag from the Thai place we used to love. She looked around like she didn't recognize the place. I'd rearranged the furniture, moved her framed photos off the mantel, packed a few of her things neatly in a box by the hallway. She hesitated before speaking. "You cleaned up," she said. "Yeah," I replied. Felt like starting fresh. She nodded slowly, setting the food on the table. "I thought maybe we could eat together tonight." I closed my laptop and stood. "You said you wanted space, Sarah. I don't want to cross that line." Her shoulders fell a little. "I didn't mean forever. I just needed to breathe." I studied her face, tired eyes, slightly trembling lips. The kind of look people have when they realize the door they wanted to keep half open is starting to close completely. "I get that," I said quietly. "But while you were breathing, I learned to breathe too." We ate in silence. Halfway through, she asked, "Do you even want to fix this?" I thought about it before answering. I wanted to. For a long time. But you can't fix something alone, Sarah. You kept pushing me away while I was still holding the pieces. She stared down at her plate. "I thought you'd fight harder." "I did," I said. "Just not in the way you expected. I fought by respecting what you asked for, even if it broke me." The air between us changed then. She looked like she wanted to cry but didn't. She just whispered, "You've changed." "Maybe," I said. "Or maybe I just stopped trying to be someone easy to leave." That night, she slept in the guest room. In the morning, her car was gone. No note, no message. Just the sound of the front door closing quietly behind her. And strangely, I didn't chase her this time. I didn't call. Didn't text. Didn't ask when or if she'd be back. Days turned into weeks. I filled the spaces she left with small, ordinary things. New habits. New people. I went to work, grabbed coffee with friends, even laughed again without feeling guilty for it. For the first time in months, my life didn't feel like waiting. Then one evening, about 6 weeks later, she called. Her name popped up on my phone like a ghost I'd finally stopped expecting to see. "Hey," she said, her voice soft. "Can we talk?" We met at a park we used to walk through on Sundays. She looked the same. Same coat, same perfume, but her confidence was gone. "I've been thinking a lot," she began. "About us. About how I handled everything." I nodded, letting her speak. "I thought space would make me feel free," she said, eyes glistening. "But all it did was show me how much you did. How much I took for granted." I wanted to tell her it was okay, that I understood, but I didn't. Because it wasn't about forgiveness anymore. It was about acceptance. "I'm glad you realized that," I said. "But I can't go back to being the man waiting outside your silence." Her tears finally came then. "So that's it?" I sighed. "You wanted space, Sarah. I just learned how to live in it." We stood there quiet. The sun was dipping below the trees, painting everything gold. The kind of moment that used to feel romantic, now just felt like closure. As I turned to leave, she said softly, "You were good to me, Ethan. I'm sorry I made you feel like you weren't." I looked back once. "You didn't make me feel that way. I just stopped letting you." I walked away before the guilt could pull me back. Each step felt lighter, not because I was over her, but because I finally understood something that took me years to learn. Love isn't about holding on tighter when someone slips away. It's about knowing when to let go without losing yourself. When I got home that night, I poured myself a drink and sat by the window. The house was quiet again, but it wasn't empty. It felt like mine. Maybe that's what space really is. Not a distance between two people, but a room where one finally remembers who they are. And in that silence, for the first time in a long time, I smiled.